Welcome back to Limerick Post Show. It's me, Meghann Scully, and I'm delighted now to be joined by Dave Neville of Nevsail. How are you getting on?
Great, thanks, Meghann. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. I guess the most obvious thing at the moment is that the kayaks aren't on the water due to the lockdown, and I think a lot of people will know Nevsail because I know myself when I'm walking around the bridges, you'll usually see the colourful kayaks around the place. How have you been since the whole lockdown?
Um, we have kind of played it safe, stuck within guidelines and, haven't done any activities out on the water, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're kind of itching to go, but, we're obviously going to do it when it's safe to do so. So we've missed kayaking and the River Fest and all the other events that would have been great. The weather was beautiful the weekend just gone for the River Fest, so it was a pity we missed it.
So good.
Yeah, but look, we're managing away. We've just had to come up with other ways of reinventing what we do, I suppose. So I suppose essentially Nevsail is water sports and adventure activities, whether it be the kayaking or abseiling from Thomond Park or whatever it might be. So we also do quite a lot of team building for companies and businesses. So we kind of saw a gap where we thought, okay, well, we do team building. Is there something that we can do regarding team building for employees and do it remotely? So we've kind of built and redeveloped or changed do things. So now we've set up team building remotely where employees can do it safely from their home. So that's what we've been doing.
Because I noticed, I think for the first few weeks, a lot of employees were doing, I suppose, their own kind of Zoom quizzes or their own kind of coffee things. But I feel like now we're in week 8, I think, of working from home, and yeah. I've noticed a lot of people are kind of like looking for new ideas. They need new creatives. I think we're all at the stage now where we've kind of hit a bit of a wall when it comes to maybe creativity and trying to stay motivated. I've even found myself the last few weeks have kind of just been a bit tougher. So I think maybe this is a great opportunity for companies to get together and to take part in the team building. I think it might give that kind of, I guess, that motivation that we're all lacking right now.
Yeah, I mean, when we have it set up about 6 weeks, we've had 3 different businesses or companies that have tried it with us. Before that, we had been, doing trial runs on it with family members and friends, etc. And throughout the 5 or 6 weeks of doing it, just by engaging with them and doing the trial runs on it, it was really entertaining, really fun. Problem solving and discussions and getting you out of your norm that we're kind of all boxed in at the moment. And you definitely felt 100 times more connected with family members that we were doing it with, and then the businesses, it's ran really, really well with them, and they've given really good reports on it as well. So mental health and well-being, and it certainly ticks all the boxes. There's friendly competition in it, and everybody really, really enjoys it as well. So I think it's probably the way companies and businesses are going to be looking at things for the next 6 or 8 months anyway. They're not going to be, even when we're past our 5 phases, it's still going to be quite social distancing orientated for quite a while. So we thought this would be a good way to go for the next 6 or 8 months.
No, it sounds unreal. So if any companies want to get involved, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, I suppose our website, if you just Google Nevsail or remote team building, you'll find a lot of information on the different remote or virtual team building activities that we have. So just to give an example, so people kind of know maybe a bit more what we're talking about, we have one is a virtual treasure hunt of Limerick City. So you might have 20 or 30 people or more, 50 people doing the virtual treasure hunt using Zoom and the treasure hunt app that we have set up. And it's very engaging. It includes all the team members, and they have to do some quirky things from their room or from around the house, etc. Obviously I don't want to give too much away, but it's enjoyable, lighthearted, and very, gets everybody involved. The other option then is we have our bomb disposal. So again, you could have on Zoom, you could have maybe teams, 5 or 6 teams of 5 per team. One team member is the bomb diffuser, the person that has to snip the wires, the virtual wires, let's say, and the other 4 on their team have a bomb manual in their possession, and they have to try and figure out the riddles or the clues to try and direct him on which wire to cut or which password or which button to press or not press. So it's all really, really enjoyable and engaging, and it's really good for morale, etc. at this time anyway.
It sounds absolutely incredible. I have to ask you as well, something we just mentioned before we got on air was about the Treasure Trail, the walking one. Can you tell me about that? Because as someone, I walk 3 bridges an awful lot here in Limerick, and I just think there's so much history and so much to see and do that maybe people take for granted when they're just out for a regular walk.
Yeah, so again, like initially with the kayaking tours, we do bits of history. If we kayak up to King John's, we'll obviously be spieling out a little bit of history on King John's or, Thomond Bridge. Like one of my favorite buildings in Limerick is the House of Industry, which is just, on Clancy Strand, directly across from the Hunt Museum. And, that House of Industry was built in like 1774. And it was originally a workhouse or a poorhouse or a house of industry. It went from that to, it was a lunatic asylum at one stage.
Wow.
It had reports in a paper where 13 strumpets, a charlatan, and 5 forlets were arrested, were in there. So there was a place where people used to work, and that line of work. Then it was an army barracks, and then it was blown up during the Civil War, and that's why there's bullet holes on the buildings to the left and to the right of the House of Industry. Then it was county council offices, and and now it's apartments. So like I've walked, as you said, you walked the 3 bridges in Limerick City. There's so many buildings like that you just, I grew up on the Ennis Road and knew nothing about, and those buildings have so much history. So yeah, we're incorporating when the 18th of May comes down and we're allowed out for our 5-kilometer walk. That we hope to maybe start to get people that can do the Limerick City Treasure Hunt, which is a phone app, and they can do that around the Limerick City and learn about the different buildings. It's not all history. There's some fun and quirky bits in it as well. So, a family could go and do it, or, maybe friends, and they can do it kind of keeping social distancing as well. So
it's absolutely incredible. And I have done quite a few of the kayaking tours, and I've learned some of the history with you. And I have to say, like, I think every time I've been on the water, it's like Limerick looks like a completely different city. And as you said, there's so much history right there, even when you're just kayaking in between those bridges. And I know when you were saying some of the stuff, I was just like blown away by how old the city is and how much it's gone through in the years. It's like, it's so incredible. And I feel like there's so many people that live in Limerick that maybe aren't from here, people probably from Limerick as well, that actually don't even know half the history.
Yeah, no, it's so surprising when you do get people from Limerick that come out and do the tours. And because I'm still learning so much new things about it, and there's so many great stories, and it's lovely actually when I've stacks of books on the Limerick history, and I've been reading up on them again recently while we were on lockdown and learning a little bit of other quirky stories. But it's lovely then when you are out and you get some people that actually give a bit of feedback, and they can tell you some bits that could almost be lost, but there's some amazing history, and it's really entertaining. I never thought I'd be a history nerd, but there you go.
I know, though. I found it also fascinating. I have to say, I can't wait now to see the kayaks back on the water again. But I know as well, the team building is such a great thing to do in the meantime, and as well that the walking tour. I must get my friends together now and see. We'll see who knows the most about Limerick at this stage.
Yeah, well, look, all of it's going to be up online on Facebook and Twitter and our Instagram. And, I suppose we were playing it cautious as opposed to the, for the actual getting out side of things. So we hope by the 18th of May, when things have maybe lifted a little bit, that, we'll ease into the walk, the Limerick City Treasure Hunts. And we might be able to take, the 4 people out on a kayaking term or a kayaking tour. and try and arrange things that way. But in the meantime, it's good that we have the remote team building that people can do safely from home for workers, etc.
It all sounds great. Dave Neville from Nevsail, thank you so much for chatting to us on the Limerick Post Show. And I said we look forward to taking part in all the team building and, of course, back on the water as well.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Meghann. Take care.
Thanks for chatting to us.
Stay safe. Bye.